Hi everyone, welcome back to Celebrity Issues TV. I'm your host, Chloe, and today we're diving into a story that's been making waves in the fitness community. Fitness influencer Wes Watson was recently arrested after a violent altercation in the gym. The incident has sparked a lot of debate online, and we've got the details for you. Let's break it down step by step.
Mr. Watson is present. Morning, Mr. Watson. You were arrested for a case from December 29th. The charge is aggravated battery and felony battery. Your attorney is present. Good morning, sir. Can you announce for the record, please?
Of course. Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Gottlieb on behalf of Mr. Watson.
Good morning. Have you had a chance to review the arrest affidavit?
I have not seen the affidavit, Your Honor. However, I am familiar with the facts and circumstances of the case. This was a fight that happened at Mr. Watson's gym, where an individual challenged Mr. Watson to a fight, came into the gym, placed a recording device believed to be a cell phone down to watch him fight Mr. Watson. I believe Mr. Watson has numerous defenses, including stand your ground, self-defense, and consent to this charge. I understand the state's theory. However, this individual came to Mr. Watson for the specific purpose of challenging him in a street fight. And then
it says the CCTV shows the victim set up his phone to start recording the interaction between him and the defendant. And it says the victim pushed the defendant.
Correct.
State.
I'm reading it, Your Honor.
He struck the victim several times with the weightlifting belt. And then other people join in striking and kicking the victim.
Your Honor, I don't see any local or out-of-county priors here. I would defer to the court and just simply ask for the stay-away order.
The victim suffered a face fracture, concussion, and 2 black eyes, but it looks like you have a very valid legal argument, Mr. Gottlieb.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask for an ROR.
Well, your order to stay away from Hakeem Ibrahim, the alleged victim. No contact with the victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties. And you must stay at least 500 feet away from the victim's home, school, and place of employment at all times. Do you understand the statement, sir?
Yeah.
All right. So I understand he went to the gym. He punched him, and then he used the weight belt.
Correct.
So it aggravated. There's probable cause for, I guess, the felony. You want me to split them both, 2,500 each? I'm not giving an ROR.
I understand, Judge. 5,000 is acceptable. Thank you.
$2,500 bond count 1, $2,500 bond count 2. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too. Mr. Watson, I'll take care of that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Can you repeat the bonds?
$2,500 count 1, $2,500 count 2 with the stay away order. If he comes to your gym, call the police. Don't engage, because if you get arrested for anything else, you'll be locked up in jail until your trial.
Okay, I just want to, real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I can talk about it. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I'll make sure your bond is arranged. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. John, which one do you want to call first?
Wes has now been officially charged. What exactly led to this moment? Let's rewind and take a closer look at what really went down in the gym. It all started when a man approached Wes while he was training with his friend. At first, it seemed like just a casual conversation, but things quickly took a turn. Words were exchanged, and before anyone knew it, fists were flying. Wes took the guy down, didn't stop there. Even while the man was on the ground, Wes kept attacking him viciously, like he wanted to end him. Gym staff tried to intervene, but no one could stop the chaos. At one point, you could even hear one of Wes's friends yelling, "Do an MMA kick!" Some online critics are saying that Wes is all muscle but lacks the punching power, pointing out that his hits look slow.
Face ass up! Comfortable
It's honestly crazy to see how far this went. A brutal beatdown right in the gym, kicks to the face and all. Wes is out on bail now, but the big question is, what kind of sentence could he be facing? Maybe Myron from Fresh and Fit, who used to be a federal agent, could break it down for us.
Now, let me give you guys, I guess, my take on this situation, right? Now that we've looked at the evidence, we've looked at the video, we've broken it down in detail, right? We've looked at the Florida Stand Your Ground law, etc. Look, I like Wes. Obviously I wish him much success and good health, but this is not good, right? From my professional experience being in law enforcement, this is not good. Now, if this case had not hit this level of virality, if Wes Watson wasn't as famous as he was, and if this video didn't make the rounds on every social media platform, being seen hundreds of thousands, if not millions of times, it would have stayed a misdemeanor, right? It would have stayed a misdemeanor. But since this thing became viral, it put an enormous amount of pressure on the Miami District Attorney's Office to do something, right? Now, with that said, he's been arrested. The charges are there. What's going to happen, in my opinion? So there's two ways this can go. Wes can fight this and go to trial. I'm going to be 1,000 with y'all. If he fights this and goes to trial, he's going to lose. He's going to lose. He's going to lose. There's no way I see a jury watching that saying, yeah, nah, he's good. Right? The only way he would go to trial and win this is if A, the witness doesn't testify, gets cold feet and decides not to testify, right? Because apparently this guy's like a G or some shit like that. He's like in the gang culture. So maybe he might change his mind because, when it's time to testify and, and you're going to you're going to trial prep and the ADA is preparing you and you gotta, you know what I mean? People get cold feet, bro. People get cold feet. So he might pull out last second and say, I don't want to testify, right? So that's one thing. Or they can't bring that video evidence in, which, by the way, shout out to Johnny Bravo for getting that video evidence. Shout out to him for that. Great reporting. But those are the only two ways I can see him going to trial and winning, is if the video doesn't come in or if the defendant chooses to not testify, right? Now, if the video comes in, but the guy chooses not to testify, I don't know if the ADA would go to trial without a witness. I don't know about that. The video itself is pretty damning, but who knows with jury trials, guys? Who knows with jury trials nowadays, right? Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, oh, well, Wes Watson, a multiple-time felon, blah, blah, blah. He talks about being in fights in prison and stuff like that. I don't know if that stuff's going to come in, chat. Obviously a part of getting a trial is a fair jury trial, and you're supposed to be looked at for the crime you're being charged with. Nothing else, right? Because that can be considered unduly suggestive. But what I will say is, if he's convicted, right? Let's say he goes to trial and loses, or if he pleads guilty and he takes a plea deal, which we're going to talk about that next. His criminal history can come into play when the judge does their sentencing. That's where his criminal history will matter. More than likely when the judge sentences him. Okay? But when it comes to the trial, I'd be shocked if he had a competent defense attorney if they let his criminal history come in. I'd be shocked. Right? Because that would corrupt the jury. Right? So if he goes to trial, I think he would lose. I just don't see a way that he would win if he went to trial. Right? What I think that the play is for Wes is to get a plea deal. Okay? Obviously, he's probably going to have to play hardball. Him and his attorney are going to have to play hardball with the DA's office. Be like, look, we intend to go to trial. We will go to trial. We're not scared of you guys. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Posture. A lot of this shit is about posturing. Right? Milk the clock. Obviously, it's going to be expensive for Wes. That's going to suck. But, hey, we're willing to go to trial. We got the money to go to trial. This isn't your typical poor defendant in Miami. We'll fight this, right? That might make the DA's office say, you know what? do we really have the time and resources to go after this guy and do a full-on fucking trial when we have murders, we have rapes, we have very serious criminal cases, organized crime, etc. Remember, guys, Miami-Dade this district attorney's office is handling everything in Miami. Okay? Everything. The state court is much different than the federal court. They don't have the luxury of time like the feds do. Okay? So we'll have to see what happens here. But if Weston and his attorney posture and say, look, we're willing to go to trial, that might make the DA say, you know what? Plead guilty to this lesser assault charge, maybe a lower level felony, maybe even a misdemeanor, and we'll call it a day. Plead guilty to that. Because the DA's office is still going to get a W. They're going to get a conviction. They're going to get the stat regardless, right? Because conviction is what matters for them, right? They win the case, they get a conviction. 90% of cases in America, guys, plead out. Very rarely do cases actually go to trial. That's the movie type shit. 90% of cases, plea bargain, okay? The only time people go to trial is when they know that they're innocent, they got a strong case, or they got the money to fight it, like Wes does, okay? But I'll tell y'all, if he goes to trial, he's gonna lose. This looks very bad, optically. Very, very bad. And this is a guy that I like, but I'm just being honest with y'all, being unbiased. There's no way you can win a trial if that video and the witness show up. No way. If the video comes in and a witness testifies, it's GG's. Right? There's no way you could justify self-defense at that point. He had 3 friends around him. They used the belt. They used the weapon. He was whooping his ass. He kicked them multiple times. No fucking way. The guy was incapacitated. He could no longer defend himself. You can't use self-defense anymore. Like I said before, the self-defense ended once the guy was on the ground and his buddy kind of came in to hold him down. At that point, it's like, no. Right? You can make the argument, hell, even before that, the self-defense defense was exhausted. I think the play, personally speaking, I think the play is for him and his lawyer to play hardball, say we're going to go to trial, postures if they're going to go to trial, play chicken with the DA's office. Again, this is risk. And see if they can wait it out and get a plea deal. You obviously don't want to blow your load to a quick pause and try to strike a plea deal immediately because you're going to look weak and they're going to try to get you on the worst charge they can. But if you threaten to go to trial, that might make them more likely to come to the table. Why is that? Because going to trial is not the same as getting a plea deal, chat. Going to trial costs the county money, costs the city money. You're going to have to bring in those detectives to testify. You're going to have to bring in that police officer to testify. You're going to have to bring in a witness to testify. And this witness, me just guessing, if someone is dumb enough to show up and start a fight at elevation, more than likely doesn't have a lot of credibility. Might have a criminal history, might be a crook himself, etc. Now, his testimony isn't going to be that important because he got his ass whooped and it's all on video. Right? More than likely he's going to be coming in and talking about how much pain he's in, how much suffering he's had. That's more than likely what they're going to use him for. Right? Like they're not going to, he's the victim. Right? So his credibility won't be as important. But he might have some credibility issues. He might have a criminal history, etc. Some people also said that he was mentally ill. He had some mental instability problems. So, yeah, I think that's the play, Chad, is threatening to go to trial, waiting it out, seeing if the DA's office will give him a sweeter deal to avoid trial. Because trust me, the state doesn't want to go to trial either. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time. They got to prepare the witnesses. They got to get this guy to testify. He might pussy out and say, I don't want to testify. I'm a G. I'm not going to testify, right? Because that would kill his street credibility. So waiting it out, at least for a few months, might be the move. And we'll see what happens. But trial is an L. No way. Especially if the video comes in and the witness decides to testify. Best bet is to wait it out, try to get a plea deal. Now, if he gets a plea deal, right, is he going to serve time? I think if he goes to trial, he's going to serve time, 100%. Let's talk about the time now. If he goes to trial, they're going to put him in prison. No doubt about it. The state looks at it like, yo, you made us waste money and resources and time preparing for this trial. You're going to go to jail. It's going to do a couple of years, for sure. 1 to 5 years easily. 1 to 5 years easily. And I say that because the Florida correction system is very inflated. Way too many prisoners. 1 to 5 years. Right? But if he pleads guilty, right? If he pleads guilty, he might be able to avoid jail time, despite his criminal history. And the reason why is because what they're going to say is that, you know, he's turned his life around. He has a big platform. He's teaching guys to get in the gym, self-improve, make money, stay away from being criminals. Like, they'll say, you know what? You pled guilty. You have a platform. You push out a positive message, which he does. Can't take that away from the man. He pushed out a positive message. He's helped a lot of guys that, you know, might have been in the prison system or might be gangbangers or do dumb shit. He's helped a lot of them. That's one thing you can't take away from us. He really has. So his defense attorney's probably going to lean on that. Hey, he's helping guys, etc. He's pleading guilty. He's taking accountability, right? A big thing also is accountability of guilt. That's a big one when you plead guilty. That knocks time off. And then if he gets a lesser charge, guys, he might get probation. He might have the big fine. Maybe he might do so. It might get you know, no jail time. But I foresee the no jail time if he pleads guilty, and maybe they lower the charge. Because his defense attorney is going to argue that he's overall net positive to society. Which he is. If you look at, like, other criminals in his position, they're not a net positive to society. They're not. He is. He has a platform, helps guys stay out of jail, helps them with getting in shape in the gym. You know, obviously he made a mistake on this one, a big mistake, but he's absolutely helped guys keep from being recidivists when it comes to the criminal justice system. So, yeah. That's what I think, guys. That's my take on it.
Will Wes Watson be locked up for years, or will he manage to walk free? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'm Chloe, and this is Celebrity Issues TV. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.